This morning we decided to take a drive up the mountains because Anne wanted to check out some particular gardens called Mon Jam. But Mon Jam was actually an area at the top that had a variety of sort of gardens and camping areas and glamping, as they call it, I guess, and little cabins all up in this mountains area. But the drive up here, it was a little bit, it was raining off and on driving up the mountains on this morning, and it was extremely windy road as you got further up the mountains. And you had to drive very carefully on these roads, especially if you got closer to the top. And and you often got blocked behind various cars that were going really slow, probably local farmers taking things back and forth. I didn't mind the drive too much, in the sense that it was actually quite beautiful. Like, as you can see in these clips, there's a lot of sort of like rainforestry, beautiful views. There was the odd little sort of, you could see the rivers alongside the river, but you can't see it in these clips. But it was a beautiful drive, and the weather was a lot more temperate. Like on the first day we went, it was a lot cool. It was cool. And on the second day we went, it was even cooler. So these clips have been spread over 2 days. It's actually worth the drive up the mountains because it's not just about like going to Mon Jam, where we were going to this cafe on the hill, which is quite scenic, and a lot of people like to take Instagram photos and all sorts of things like that there. It was also about the fact that there was a whole bunch of little cafes, shops, vendors selling their fruit and vegetables, and then went a bit crazy on the last day we were there, and the second time we went, because the fruit was just super cheap up in these mountains compared to Bangkok. And so she bought a whole bunch of fruit back home, and the fruit was really nice from there too, from that area. But of course, you could stay there overnight in these various cabins and resorts because there was just so many of them up there. On the way up this road too, you also pass some botanical gardens, which I've got a video on later, and also there's elephant sanctuaries. There's an elephant sanctuary there, and that you can go up and just like interact with the elephants, and you can see that. I think where. Yes, so so overall, there is a lot you can do up in these mountains on a day trip. You can pretty much fill your whole day just coming backwards and forwards up these mountains. And we were thinking of camping up there for a night, but the weather was not good, so we're thinking of coming back in when the weather's more dry, non-wet season, and seeing what it's like to actually camp up in the hills there. But there's a lot of flower gardens up here as well. Like, went to Mon Jam, but there was also another one that was quite beautiful to take photos on, which I've also got a video on later. But I hope you do enjoy this little trip. I wanted to show some of the roads going up here, just to give you a feel of what it's like driving up this mountain, and also to show you some of the views. Like, even here on the left, you see a little bit of the river. When it was raining really heavily, oh my God, that river runs super fast. And apparently a day or two after we had left Chiang Mai overall, that river was flooding. And even down near the elephant sanctuary, apparently the bridge that crosses across to the elephant sanctuary was just, the water was running over the top of it. So it can flood in these areas. And there's also a risk of landslides. Like, even on the second time we went here, we noticed that there was one landslide on the road on the way up to Mon Jam that blocked off half the road. And I think a week or two later, there was also a few more landslides on these mountains from the storms, from the heavy rains. So just be careful when you're driving around these roads, and as there could be the odd landslide here or there. But generally speaking, I just love this drive. It was just really relaxing going up the road. Yep, you have to stay focused, but I just enjoyed the drive because of the beautiful scenery around you and the beautiful views around you. And it just reminded me a lot of the Blue Mountains back in Sydney, Australia. It was just beautiful, this whole area. I just loved it. And I'll definitely be back here, and I'll probably definitely come back and explore a lot more in the different seasons, just to see what the flowers are like, to see what the what sort of places are open during on-season. Because I think this wet season is basically off-season. So you probably see a lot more closed and it's normally closed. But see, as we're coming up this mountain here, this is when it's starting to get like a bit windy, but it does get worse as you're going up the hill. And so you really got to watch your driving and be careful. And I think there was 1 or 2 roads that we came up which you sort of went, is this a 2-way lane or a 1-way lane? That's how sort of narrow it feels. But anyway, enjoy this video, and I'll have a lot more coming up on Chiang Mai as well as I get these videos up. But love this drive. Yep, highly recommend go up, hiring a car, or if you got a car or a motorbike, go exploring up in the mountains, and just enjoy all the views. Just enjoy all the little cafes, restaurants, whatever you want to stop in. Also on this road going up, there was other activities like ATVs, places where you could do some firing ranges on the way up on this road, earlier on in this road. So there's a lot to do and see just on this drive. So Anne's dragged me all the way up, walking up to the top of the mountain. Well, we drove most of the way, but walking all the way up here in the rain and the fog to see this cafe in Chiang Mai. So, gotta love these things. You get the go-karts, you drag them all the way to the top, and you ride them all the way down just for a bit of fun. But here you go. Coffee 60-70 baht. Oh, where is she? Oh. So on a clear day, it probably has a beautiful view out here. But right now, as you can see, it's quite smoky. There's a lot of viewpoints though. You can walk further up, and you've got places you can stand, take photos. A lot of sort of flower areas. And there's a friendly dog that's followed us all the way up from the bottom where we parked. But you can't drive all the way up here. Yeah. So we're here in the wet season, so it's not always going to be guaranteed that you're going to get a good view. And it is pretty smoky up here. Well, foggy. There's a little bit of rain going on. But you can see how this place would be. It's even beautiful, and there's sort of like mistiness about it. And yeah, even beautiful in the mist. So it'll be even more beautiful when it's actually clear as well. And there's a lot of little cabins. There's a lot of also, as they call, glamping, where they basically it's tents set up with a bit of more luxury. And yeah, so there's a lot of places you can stay here on the mountain in Chiang Mai. Heaps of places. And we looked up one camping sort of place, and it was about 1,000 baht a night, I think, for a cabin there. But it has a beautiful view over the mountains sort of thing. And there's a lot of them. There's heaps of little resorts all over the mountains, little health retreats, little and this one, he keeps following us. He just wants to say hello to everyone. Yeah, so in Chiang Mai here, it's beautiful driving up the road here. It's super windy. It's very dangerous. You've got to watch yourself, especially in wet weather driving up here. And so we were slowly going up in low gear the whole way up here. Going down is going to be a little bit more dangerous, especially in this wet weather. And so we're going to have to take it really easy going back down, because the roads in Chiang Mai here in the mountains are super, super windy. But yeah, there's so many resorts up here to choose from in the mountains. Like, yeah, it's great being in Chiang Mai in the city, but if you can do a night or two up here in the mountains, especially in non-wet season, then yeah, it could be quite beautiful. Apparently there's a lot of activities up here I haven't explored yet, but I'm looking forward to doing a bit more exploration. But I'm actually gonna get a coffee. I feel like one. But let's have a look around this cafe. So yeah, you've got these sort of plants. All this is flower beds. That's what people do. They come down here, walk amongst the flower beds, get photos. That's what Anne wanted to do. That was her idea. And not sure what she's doing. but non-smoking for those that like their smoking. Coffee, tea. That's a beautiful setup. That's a sort of nice seating area. There's your coffee prices. The after coffee. Iced is just 10 baht more. Hot for 60. Cold for 70. What else have you got here? I think you've got the local tea leaves you can buy here as well. 50 baht, 100 baht for those. Got some local fruits. Some nice little cakes. 39 baht, 89 baht for coconut, 89 for blueberry. But yeah, well, I'm going to get a coffee. So Anne's wanting to walk along here and get a photo in the amongst the flowers. I can imagine how beautiful this is. I'm still looking, just going, wonder what this is like on a clear day. Has to be beautiful. I just love the flower colours. Okay, wait. So we've been taking photos walking around here, but you can see over here to the distance the fog's starting to lift. As it's starting to lift, you can see some of that sort of greenery starting to come out. But it is a beautiful place just to take some photos, sit up there, have a coffee, and we're going to get one on the way out, and just really enjoy the view. And the rain stopped, blue clouds are starting to come out, and yeah, it's just looking very peaceful out here in the morning. But this one got herself changed so she could take some different photos in the flowers here. You can tell she's put on a different dress. Alright, we're going to go over there now and get a coffee. I was going to say, I ordered a light iced latte, iced cappuccino from here, and oh my god, the coffee is delicious. I highly recommend the coffee at this place. Give it a try and enjoy this view. So we decided to try their brownies out here. Look at it, it's just beautiful looking, and of course to enjoy this view. Up here on the hill it started to clear up, and in the distance there you've got like all the camping cabins up on the hill. I don't know whether you can clearly see it. I'll just give this to Anne. Anne, yep. She needs to continue to walk. I'm just going to take a photo. Actually, no, we'll come around. I'll take a, let's see if I can get a photo from an angle here of the thing. I just wanted to see if I can zoom up and get this proper camera. You keep walking.
Wow หานี้ we drive a car past right
Yeah.
Yes
สู้ไหมคะ
avocado
ก่อนได้นะคะดูได้ชิมได้ค่ะ
and root how much
So we had to walk up that hill to get to the cafe where we wanted to go. Out that up in these mountains, there's a variety of activities. Yes, you've got all the camping, you've got all the cabins, you've got all the cafes and restaurants and general shops up in these mountains. But you've also got other activities like your AVT motorbikes, your little buggies. You've got shooting ranges. You've also got what I saw was some sort of adventure camp that I didn't really know what was in there, but it showed like there was a variety of activities that could go on in there as well. And it looked like there was some sort of weird roller coaster thing in there. So on this particular road, there's a lot of different activities. And I'm guessing during on season as such, there's probably a lot more to do up here. But still, it's beautiful to drive any time of year up here, I guess. And even in wet season, there's going to be days when the sun is completely out and clear and you can still explore. Even in our whole week up in Chiang Mai, this was just our first day of exploring. But there was days where it was completely sunny all day and we just had the storm in the evening. And so you can take a gamble any time of year, really. And from what another YouTuber that I was talking to said that all year round, Chiang Mai is just a beautiful place to live and explore. And he had travelled all over Thailand and he still found Chiang Mai his most favourite place to hang out at because it's got a really nice culture, Chiang Mai overall. You've got a bit of your Western cafes and your Western restaurants, but you've also got a lot of the local Thai culture all over Chiang Mai. So there's that little blend of Western and Thai, and it's also a haven, I guess, for digital nomads wanting to live in the mountains or run online businesses or things like that. You get a lot of that stuff apparently up in the Chiang Mai. And there's also a lot of English teaching jobs too in Chiang Mai if that's one thing that you're actually interested in doing. And I think there's another place called Settlement Abroad that does a lot of that recruitment for local teachers. And so if you're looking for if you're looking for another place to actually or a contact to actually get teaching jobs or something like that in Chiang Mai, then contact that Settle in Abroad because they're pretty cool. And I'll put their link below too. And you can look them up on Instagram or even on YouTube or even up on their websites. But they're another option that you can use to get various types of visas to actually stay in Thailand. So we came up here a second day, and this is the video on another day that we actually came up to Chiang Mai in Mon Jam area. We're up here another day and we're looking over one of the cafes in Mon Jam. This is another one that's quite close to it. It's only a few minutes walk away. But on the other side here, you've got Strawberry Farm. But there's also some scenic places to take photos. I'm guessing in winter it's not as foggy. But here you see you've got these vantage points where you can take photos from on top of the cafes. And they sell coffee up here, and I'm guessing and it looks like they've got some food on the menu up there. and you can walk through these gardens and relax. And here it looks like they're growing more things. But I just thought I would add this section. We actually caught a motorbike up here. Here the go-karts. Look at these go-karts. They use them at the top of the hill and they catch a ride down. Anyway, we're going to keep walking around, and it's cold here up in the mountains. I think it's like 20-something degrees, and you got this cool breeze, almost like you need a jacket, which is unusual for Thailand. But yeah, it is cold, and I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. So we're walking back down from that cafe. There's a lot of little seating areas here. And this Mon Jam's not a bad trip. Yeah, you get a little bit of a touristy thing where you got to walk up the hill and you got all the markets and that. But I'm guessing in winter here, when it's all clear and not foggy, it's quite beautiful. Raem's more fascinated by the fog. Oh, look at these nice little flowers. Look at the shape of these. They look cool. Then you got different flowers down there. Can't zoom up too far. Not sure what kind of trees these are. Now, where did Anne go on me? Yeah, we paid some guy 40 baht to drive us all the way up the hill on the motorbike. It's not that scary, you get used to them. Some local's house down there. So as I said, you got all the markets. But yeah, see that we didn't walk through there yesterday. This is where Anne was getting photos with local kids. Actually, I don't know where she's gone. Anne! So we've come back to this cafe again. Looks a bit busy. Yeah? Yeah. Ice. So we come back here again. Where we were the other day. It's still pretty... It's a little bit clearer than it was the other day. Okay, we've come back up to Mon Jam Cafe, where we were on the first day we were here, and we just took a bit of a motorbike ride to one of the other cafes and sort of flower gardens, which I ain't got a lot of photos on, but that was the first freaking time I was on a motorbike, and it was scary. I've never been on a motorbike on the main road before, and but it was all windy road, so the guys were pretty skilled in what they were doing and taking us around, because apparently we couldn't drive our car to where we wanted to go, and so we had to jump on these motorbikes. But yeah, oh my god, my arms are killing me because I was gripping on the back of this motorbike seat just because I'd never been on one, so I didn't know how to balance. But yeah, it was fun. It was an experience. I wish I had my GoPro attached to my head or something so I could have filmed the experience. But yeah, it was an experience. Now we're grabbing an iced coffee because we just want to cool down. And yeah, I've enjoyed this morning. It's been fun. See, this is what we didn't catch the other morning because it was all fogged over. But from these gardens here, you get to see all the sort of just forest and greenery. Yeah, it's just nice up here. Just beautiful. Yeah, you can see how quickly this changes. Like just a minute ago, it was you could see all the valley and everything like that, And then the fog's just come over now and you can't see anything. But we're heading back to the hotel and then going to Bangkok.
How much I'm beautiful.
Yes, I can see how much you're beautiful, mate, yeah? We've just been looking at Thai wines and we've been giving them a try. I must admit, most of them are not nice, but we have got one that's really nice that we found. And so we have picked one that we really like. And we're also trying, you'd be surprised, this is Thai whiskey. So we're going to give some of that a try as well, which we actually tried it and it's quite sweet. So the wines here are a bit more sweet than your normal Western wines. But so I bought two that we actually like. And but at least you get to try them before you buy, which is good. But yeah, so give them a try because it may suit your taste and your palate. But we found two that we actually liked at the end of the day. But we didn't try many. There's a lot more here that we did not try. So there could be some quite nice ones here. But yeah, we gave some a try. Anne wants to buy fruit on the way down. So we're going to buy some fruit as well.